The Xbox One. Yeah, I know it sounds kind of confusing because it is a next-gen console for the Xbox, but it's back to the number one. I have no idea why they're doing this. I mean, we know that it's because they're trying to make an all-in-one system or console. That's the reason why it's called One. But at the same time, the average consumer might not be able to tell that this one is a new one. But I mean, besides the name, which I didn't really understand why they went with just one, they should have just kept it as Xbox or Xbox Infinity or something that will make it like, I don't know, just make it better. Like the Xbox One to me does not sound like a good name. Yes, you're trying to get the point across as all in one, then why don't you just call it Xbox all in one? You know, like you might as well call it that. At least that's a selling point. Hey, look, that's what we're trying to go for. That's the name. It's Xbox all in one. But anyway, besides that, this whole video of them showing everything live it seemed okay, but right in the beginning, right off the back, you learn that that's their focal point, that they're focused on entertainment. This is all about the TV and how you can switch from TV and go right back to game and say Xbox, go back to TV, and it goes back to TV, Xbox, let's go Skype, and then you could go Skype call. Like, yes, the Skype call is pretty cool. A lot of people, you know, like parents and like, you know, like the grandparents and stuff, they might just want this so they could Skype call someone and use their TV and they're able to talk to someone. They showed how NFL will be partnered with, partnered with Xbox. Now, that's one feature I'm going to talk about right now because there's a couple things in this whole presentation that I felt that was really good. But the funny thing is, it had nothing to do with games. Now, 2 points I thought was great was one, like I just said right now, the NFL is partnered with Xbox. I think that's awesome. You know, they really didn't explain too much detail on it, but they did show how you can have your fantasy football on the side of the screen while you're watching the actual football game. And anytime your player like scores and like you can look at your fantasy stats and see that, oh, you just moved up on the leaderboard, your player just scored, and then you could Skype call someone and you actually could taunt them and say, you know, talk about how your team's doing better, your fantasy player is doing better, whatever it is. That's pretty cool. That's pretty interesting. Yes, that's great. But guess what? It still has nothing to do with games. Sorry, that has nothing to do with games. It's an awesome feature, but you know what I mean? Like, that's a feature that I would love to have on my computer, my PC. But anyway, besides that, now we go back to the next thing I thought was pretty cool. They talked about Halo and how Steven Spielberg, I'm not sure if he's directing or producing, but he's doing the Halo television series, which is only going to be exclusively for Xbox. That is awesome. I think that's going to be awesome because Steven Spielberg, you know, he has that greatness about him, that name, that he knows how to make like sci-fi stuff that will fit into the Halo world, which I think is great. But at the same time, once again, that has nothing to do with the game. So that's another feature that, you know, the average person will get excited about, but you got to realize it's just a gimmick because it still has nothing to do about a gaming system. It's a gaming console. Nothing to do with the game. The only the games that they showed pretty much were those Forza, the racing. Like, okay, that looks pretty cool, but to be honest with you, that's not a console, that's not a system seller. That is not a system seller. That's not something that I'm going to spend money on because Forza is there. Sorry, it's not. It's not a system seller. But it's cool that they have it there, yes, but they really didn't show anything. Maybe E3, you know, well, they did say E3, they're going to show more games, stuff like that. But at the same time, nothing impressive right there. Now, the final thing, the thing that I thought was the most impressive had nothing to do with Xbox. It had to do with Call of Duty Ghosts. You know, for once, Call of Duty is actually focusing on the character, you know, the characters in their development, and like you actually care about the characters and stuff like that. They even hired someone that created, he was Oscar winner for creating Traffic, and you know, like it looks like they're focusing on the story for a change in Call of Duty. So to me, that's pretty cool. The new features that they added there, they have multiplayer. You could for the characters and stuff like that, you can customize your characters. And also they have environmental destruction, so like there might be earthquakes, there might be like traps that you can set up for other people. That stuff is welcome in the Call of Duty world, so I think that's awesome they did that. But once again, that has nothing to do with Xbox. So here comes the most exciting news Xbox presented that has nothing to do with Xbox. Like, the only exciting news is, guess what, just like always, you get DLC first for Call of Duty with Xbox. Big deal. The point is, you guys didn't show really anything in this presentation. The features that you showed were great, but it had nothing to do with gaming. And I am kind of scared, just like a lot of other people, that they lost the focus on gaming. Even though they're claiming that they did that, they lost focus on gaming because they didn't show anything. And yes, E3 isn't here yet. Yes, they want to wait 2 weeks for E3. But my point is, like right away, you're seeing that they're focusing on the living room entertainment. They're focused on entertainment. Now, to some people that's great, but guess what? Entertainment isn't going to sell for everyone. You know, that's what Wii U just tried to do. And Wii U pretty much, I'm not going to say it completely failed, but, you know, it didn't work. It did not work the way Wii U thought it was going to work. So the fact that Microsoft is still trying the same thing, you got to slow down with that. You got to focus on the games. And I think so far, Sony's winning on the aspect. They said they're focused on the developers and focused on the players. And they want the games to excel. So Xbox is making sort of the same mistake that PlayStation made in the PS3 era. So let's see what happens with that. Now, in other news, something that Xbox did not announce in the presentation that Kotaku announced, which isn't official, but according to Kotaku, I'm going to put the link below to show you exactly what article I'm talking about. It says Xbox One is not always online, but seems to restrict used games. Now, it turns out that when a player gets a game now, you actually have to upload it to the hard drive. So when the disc is installed to hard drive, what happens is it's linked to your Xbox Live account. So what that means is if you were to take that game to someone else's Xbox and you try to put it there and re-upload it, it's gonna charge you a fee now. There will be the owner will be given an option to pay a fee to install the game from the disc, which means that you have to pay now for any used game or any game that's just been used, even if it's only used one time. You're gonna have to pay a fee for that. So this was completely missed in the presentation. I would have loved for them to announce that to see if there's still gonna be applause, because all you heard in the back was everyone clapping, going crazy. But I wonder if they'll be clapping, going crazy if they heard this information, because this is pretty much killing the whole used game market right here, where you're not allowed to even share a disc. So you're saying I can't take that disc and go at a friend's house and play it on his Xbox without paying? Like, are you kidding me? I just paid. Like, so what you're saying is I have to just log on my name every single time. It's only gonna be linked onto my Xbox Live account. You know, like, to me that's kind of, it's messed up. You know, I don't like this article at all. I'm hoping that, you know, maybe it's not true. I mean, because we all know Kotaku does, some articles aren't completely, you know, it's just rumors and it's not completely true. But by the looks of it, it looks like this might actually be happening. And if that is true, then that's a huge mistake by Xbox. The only thing is, if this is true, between now and E3, and actually between now and before the system sells, people better be spreading this out. Let everyone know the truth about this, because I hope everyone sees this, because if this is something that doesn't, you know, people don't pay attention to, they don't know that it's going to happen, they're going to end up buying a console not knowing that they can never use or share a game with anyone else. And this is a huge, huge thing, because they already show that, you know, it still has 8 gigabytes of RAM, and like the way it's built, it's very similar to PlayStation 4. So now we're going to break it down to features. Now, which features are better? And if you cannot play used games on this system, and so far Sony did not announce that they're doing that, then you might just want to go with Sony. Same thing with me. Like, I'm planning to get both consoles, just to let you guys know. But at the same time, if there's, if they're hiding this from people, it's not a good thing at all. So I'm kind of hoping this article is false, but who knows. But that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoyed my little discussion about Xbox One. I don't know. I mean, I'm excited to certain features, but overall, I thought it was unimpressive. There wasn't anything to wow me. Like it wasn't something that was great. The console looks pretty big when you look at it. It looks very expensive. So I'm kind of curious how expensive it's gonna be, because it doesn't look like it's made out of cheap parts whatsoever. Yeah, I mean, let's just wait and see. Like, at least the whole always online thing isn't completely true. I mean, the publisher does have the option to do it on their own if they want to restrict someone from accessing. If they want to restrict someone, they can. They'll have that option, but it doesn't look like it's forcing you to always be online, which is good. But at the same time, like, it looks like it has a lot of gimmicks in it, and I just hope that they didn't lose track of the games, because that's what it comes down to. It's a gaming console. Like, you have to make sure that there's games there. So besides that, they announced that there's gonna be a whole bunch of exclusive games on Xbox. 8 out of 15 are brand new or whatever. So I mean, that's pretty cool, but we'll see what they're like. They're gonna be new, so you never know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. They could be a flop, they might be great, who knows. But that's pretty much it. So this is Hector from Not Too Nerdy. See you, YouTube.